All right, we're back. So, video 1, we added this switch to turn the power on and off. Video 2, we added this output so that way we could hear better. Video 3, we're gonna do some wild, mad, sciencey shit. All right, let's bear with me here. I'm gonna tell you to do something weird. Take your hands, lick your finger, fingers licked. Put it across this resistor. And now you're circuit bending. So what's happening there is the resistance from my hands is causing more resistance to go into the pitch resistor. This resistor is controlling how fast or the frequency that this chip is turning on and off. So there's an oscillator in there, and essentially what you're hearing is a pitch or a key. This thing's running all the time, but you can't hear it until you close the gate, and that's all that is. Close the gate, makes a noise. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna take that out, this resistor, and then I'm gonna take this 20K potentiometer and I'm gonna put it where that's at. And then we'll have a pitch bending wheel. Pretty cool, huh? Stick around. All right, we're gonna test this out. So this is my B20K. That's just a 20 kilo ohm potentiometer, variable resistor, whatever you want to call it. I've got one lead hooked up here to the center, one lead hooked up here to the outside leg, and then I've got same lead hooked up here on this side of the resistor, and I got a lead hooked up here to this side of the resistor. So now I'm going to push buttons to make sure that what I'm doing is going to work. And then as I'm doing that, I'm going to twist this knob. Throw a little cap on there so it's a little easier. And sure enough, would you look at that? That's usually your first circuit bend. This is a pitch knob. Pretty easy to do. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Alrighty, let's get this bugger out of here. What I'm going to do is take this solder gun, iron, whatever, solder iron. So I'm going to take the soldering iron. I'm going to start heating up the solder. This is a solder sucker or a solder pump. Comes with a little button. Push it. Sucks the solder out, spring loaded. Get that solder real hot and then take it and suck it up. It works real nice. There's also something called solder wick. It's like a braided copper rope. You can use that as well. But I like the solder sucker. It's a little quicker. But once you get that cleaned out, go ahead and take a pair of pliers or tweezers or whatever you have laying around. Go ahead and take that resistor out. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now that resistor's out of there, now I can wire up my potentiometer to where those holes are at. Really, I want to go ahead and clean that out a little more just to make sure it's clean. So, be right back. All right. So I went ahead and soldered that in right there, where that resistor is at right there. Now I have my potentiometer. And I have my pitch bender. So then we can mount it to the case. Make sure that when you close the case, I'm not going to run into this battery. I'm not going to run into any posts or anything that's in here. Just take our time and kind of figure out the best place to put this. And I think just based on that, when we flip this back over, the battery is going to be in here somewhere. So I think we're safe if we take this guy and we put it over here, maybe down here. We probably put it on the side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably put it right there. So I'll go ahead and drill a hole for that, just like we did in the last few videos. I'll get my step bit out. I'll measure this shaft. And then I'll go ahead and mount that in. I happen to have all these fancy knobs to put on top of that shaft. And I got some of these kind. And really, you can get them anywhere. eBay, I like to use Tay Electronics. You can just check them out. And they'll usually sell you potentiometers and then recommend that you buy some kind of cover with it. But I think I'm just going to go a little wild. Wild with the color. All right, this is crap. Anyway, choose your knob. Put it on top of the shaft. I've even got some of these more traditional looking ones. That one's a nice white one. That looks kind of cool on there. Get that one. Get that one. Yeah. I'm going to go with this bone white. There's a little screw back here. Kind of tighten that down. And then I'll tighten that down to the shaft. Yep. There you go. Got yourself a little pitch knob. Thanks for watching.